Let me ask you one other, and my time is really up, but and I'll have some questions for the record, but I really appreciate the work you've done on the Arctic. You know, we've talked about it when you were in the Senate. I appreciate Senator Harkin bringing it up. You know, and one of the issues, I think I bumped into you during the inauguration. I said we need to talk more about the inauguration. I think it was at a food line or something, and I said, you know, Singapore has an Arctic ambassador. Singapore.
And they want to get in.
They want to get in. And I would hope you would look at something we proposed last year. We've sent something through channels to have people start looking at it, and that is we should have, as this country, an Arctic ambassador. It is multifaceted. As you know better than I don't have to go through all the presentation because you all, both of you actually did it, which I appreciate because I also met with the president of Iceland today. I saw him about 6 months ago also. And he is right. You know, while we worry about, and we'll be debating immigration here in short order, and the borders and all that, but what we forget is people can ride a boat right into the coast of Alaska and get off. There's no border. There's no, you know, immigration officer, except maybe 500 miles away, and you got to fly there. But yet we're so focused on the South, which is very important. We're forgetting about the double-digit increase of ships coming through the Bering Sea. You got China, who wants to be not just an observer, they want to be a member, and they want to own a fifth of the Arctic, which I am in a public forum, so I'll keep my comments calm here, and that is, and use my words carefully. But, you know, unless I missed something since I've been here this week, they didn't move to the Arctic. They're still down somewhere else. And we have a unique opportunity, and I know your passion around this issue because it relates to climate change, law of the sea. It's all connected, and the economic opportunities are beyond belief. And we sit around and kind of, well, okay, in 2 years from now, we will be at the chair of the Arctic Council. I am so happy to hear what you just said a few minutes ago, that you're going to be going there. I think it's May 15th. I forget the exact date, but May 15th. That is a huge signal that we care about the Arctic and that we want to be a player. And so I would just ask you to look at, and we'll send you some of the information on the legislation we had last year, but to get us in some equal footing, not saying the State Department hasn't done a good job, but we need someone who has this massive overall approach to the Arctic, that the State Department is a strong supporter. So,
I wrote down a big...
Okay, I'm sorry, I got on my rant because you know...
message to myself right here.
Okay, because you know you and I get on the same positive, like, you know, why don't we have the law of the sea? Why don't we have this? And it's like insane. It's a whole new area for us as a country, and it's almost like we're just now discovering the Arctic Ocean as something of value. Well, it's been there. The difference is now it's melting, and people are realizing, wow, I mean, China has figured this out. They move ships from China to other markets. They'll save 40% on shipping costs. They are not messing around. They're going to have a conference on the Arctic in Shanghai. Unless I missed something, Shanghai isn't in the Arctic, but... So I really appreciate that. I didn't mean to get on my rant there, but I got a little worked up.
Senator, I love your passion about it, and I can, you know, I wish those particular chairs were full. And
I actually wrote that note, our colleagues, and I made a note. I had an arrow.
I think we ought to have a classified briefing at some point in time so a lot of our colleagues can bear down on how our security may be affected by all of this, and I think we should think about that.
You are right on about this. I'll end on that, Mr. Chairman, and just say I'll send a question in on economic diplomacy through energy policy, which I know is another powerful issue you work on. And
I spoke at the energy, you'll be pleased to know, I spoke at the Energy Forum in Beijing briefly and went there with the state counselor. And that was a joint effort for both of us, and we issued a statement jointly with the Chinese elevating the climate change discussion now with China and the United States on a bilateral basis to what we call the SNED, the Strategic and Economic Development Dialogue that we have. That's at the ministerial level. Secretary of the Treasury Jack Lew and I will co-chair. Major Chinese equivalent officers will be there, and we will engage very directly in what steps we can take just between us to try to address some of these issues. Thank you.
Thank you.